The driver's ed program is a three-part program here in Nottingham High School. We've had our program in the township since 1974. It's a three-part program, as I said, with 30 hours of classroom training, where sophomore students work on passing the permit test. And then we have 12 hours in the simulator, where we learn safe, courteous, defensive driving techniques and strategies that help us to stay safe on the roadway. I think the simulator is the most important part of learning to become a safe driver. The third part of our program, 3 hours behind the wheel training, where we're actually in the car, driving in various situations. We start in residential areas, then we go through the city, down Broad Street, Route 33 using the unprotected turn lane in the middle, parallel parking K-turn U-turns, and then we finish up by going on Route 130 and 295. The driver's ed programs that we have here at Nottingham, we are participating in the You Got Brains program, which is a student-generated safe driving program that we started 4 years ago. The first year we worked on the golden rule, second year we emphasized the GDL, and last year we pushed the one passenger in a car rule. We also had this Share the Keys program, which we just had on October 26th. We had a great turnout from all three schools. There were over 65 students and another 75 parents that were in attendance, where we tried to inform the students and the parents about the steps that they'll be going through from moving from the permit to the graduate driver's license to their basic driver's license. We also do surveys for our seniors, trying to find out if they're driving safely, if they're in at-fault accidents, if they wear their seatbelts, and if they're texting while they're driving. So our driver's ed program are very obvious from the survey that I mentioned earlier. We survey our seniors during the fall of their senior year, and we ask the questions: have they ever been in an at-fault accident? Do they wear their seatbelts in the car? And are they texting while they're driving? And our at-fault accidents are between 9 and 11% here in Hamilton Township, between all three schools. Nationwide, that number is pushing 50%. Over 92% of our students are wearing their seatbelts while they're driving, and the average nationwide is about 75%. Texting is down to less than 23% of our students are texting while they're driving, according to the survey, where the nation average is pushing 46%. So we feel that in those areas, we're definitely becoming safer than the other cars on the roadway, other teenagers in the cars on the roadway. So I think our program has been very successful, and the state acknowledged that our program is successful by giving us a grant to put new simulators in our school here at Nottingham. They just put the 12 more simulators at Hamilton West, and Steiner will get their simulators next year, hopefully. So not only do I feel that our program is successful, but the state and the team traffic safety program also thinks that we have a successful program. The attribute as the coordinator of the driver's ed program, I think, is just my passion for keeping our students safe on the roadway, because I care about them so much. And just trying to get the importance of that being behind the wheel of a car is very dangerous. And it's not a place to show off or have fun or, impress your friends. It's a place where your life is on the line every time you get behind the wheel of the car. So I think that my passion for keeping all of our students safe, not getting into accidents, keeping the money in their pocket, minimize injuries, minimize damage, all kinds of reasons for driving safely. It's just my passion for that. There have been a couple of times when I feared for my life in the driver's ed car, and unfortunately we had a very dangerous situation for another driver's ed student after school yesterday, where a student was in the middle of making a right turn, and for some reason he stopped and locked the brakes up, and because the truck behind him was tailgating, he almost crashed into the back of the car. I woke up this morning with my heart palpitating, thinking another half of an inch and it would have been a very serious accident there. So I'm just thankful to God that that did not take place. I personally have been in that situation before, where students have hit the brakes when there's a car very close behind us, and again, just thankful to God that we did not get into an accident. There was one very serious situation on the interchange of 195 and 295, where two other drivers made very careless mistakes and cut us off, and I was able to grab the wheel and prevent an accident from happening there. But it wasn't our student driver's fault, actually. It was actually another driver on the roadway that did not check their blind spot. But because the driver was aware and ready for something to happen, and I was paying attention. We were able to prevent a very serious accident from happening. A student in the car has never hit anybody else while we're driving. We did get hit from behind once from a person that did not stop at a yellow light because she was on her cell phone. And she had plenty of escape routes to go. She was just texting away. When the police came to her, her phone was laying on the floor. She admitted she was texting and was going to just go through the yellow light because she didn't see it. We did get hit from behind, but we've never hit another car while I was in the car. Dumbest thing a student's ever done in the car, probably not because of, the dumbest thing is I tell them to turn left and they turn right, or they put the right indicator on, or they look over the right shoulder when they're moving left. I mean, they're just some common things. I know students are nervous when they're in the car. But one of the hardest thing that happens, or the dumbest thing, is that they just stop when they're supposed to go. And that's a very dangerous scenario. And I understand the students are nervous. They have to understand that maybe the driver and instructor's a little nervous too. I tell them if I have to choose between yelling and dying, I always choose yelling. I've never had to drive a student back to school because I felt unsafe with them. There are times when I do alter the path in which we are going to take during the driver's ed period. Maybe a little less traffic in the path that we decide to take, but for the most part, students have been able to get us back safely. The only time that I would consider doing that is if the student was so upset because of something that happened in the car that they would not be able to drive back. Fortunately, that has not happened. I do believe that I need to be the one that exposes our students to the driving scenarios that are out there. I do have control of the accelerator, or the brake rather I should say, and the steering wheel. I can reach over. Mostly the students that have been in the car with me know that I have my hand on the wheel 90% of the time. It's not because of them, it's just because of the other cars. So I am ready to help keep the car safe. We've got to get to the point where the student's driving the car though, and not me. I never had to drive the car back because the student wasn't able to.